Hi everybody, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're returning, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by to watch my videos. And I'm more about mental health wellness. I'm also very passionate about self-awareness and also self-discovery. And I like to talk about different topics every day as it relates to my life and also things that I've observed keenly about the society and how the society works. And so I want to expound on the topic of suicide. And like I said in my other video, if you've not watched it, please go watch that video. I talked about, suicide and how I have felt suicidal uh, like 3 times. And because my videos are all about mental health wellness and they're also about being self-aware, that is why I'm very passionate about sharing my journey, because it relates to all those things. And when you talk about suicide, when you are having suicidal thoughts, mostly comes from, especially for me, it came from crisis that I was having, right? And I'm going to talk about the 3 times that I felt suicidal, because I can only count on 3 major times that I felt I wanted to commit suicide. And I know it's a very sensitive topic because there are things that nobody hardly talks about. Nobody talks about having suicidal thoughts, and there is this stigma of people saying that, oh, if you wanted to commit suicide, you could have already done it. Why did you talk? Why do you have to tell people? And I feel that's a very wrong approach of the whole thing and the whole topic that surrounds suicide. Because sometimes when somebody is saying that they want to commit suicide or they are suicidal, is because they are screaming for help. Like they are telling somebody in the having the thought that, or in the hope that somebody is going to hear their cries for help. And so I remember the first time I was a teenager, and I was having identity issues. I was having very major identity crisis. And I remember wondering who I am, where do I fit in the society and in my family, because I have a very huge family. I come from, I have very many siblings. Actually have 11 siblings, very amazing, people. And I was feeling like I didn't know who I am. I felt that I couldn't relate to any of my siblings at the time. Always feeling like I am different, but then I can't relate with the people who are part of my blood and part of me. And so I was having a very huge crisis, identity crisis. When I say a huge one, it was a huge one. And I didn't feel loved by my parents. I know they loved me, but I didn't feel it. I'm one person who really relates to feelings. When it comes to remembrance of things, I remember things based on how I felt. There are different ways in how somebody recalls a memory. There are people who recall a memory through sound. There are people who recall a memory through visual, how they saw it. And there are people who feel. And I'm in the group of people who feel. And so I yearned to feel loved. And so I even actually remember one time asking one of my parents, do you love me? And they answered, no. They were like, of course I do. The things that I do for you are a sign that I love you. And I remember thinking to myself, well, that is you providing basic needs. Right? I think at that time I hoped they would tell me I love you, because I knew that I loved them and I loved my parents. I still do. But then I needed them to assure me that they loved me. And so I felt like I was not loved. I felt like I didn't belong to anyone in particular, and I didn't belong, I just didn't have a sense of belonging. And so, considering that you're having also adolescence crisis, it was bad. Like you have identity crisis, and then you are also having a crisis of having a sense of belonging. And so I remember one evening I was feeling like, I don't think I belong here. I don't think I am loved. I don't think that I matter. And I remember having the urge of wanting to die. I had not, I don't think I was thinking of how I'm going to die, but then I remember having the urge of wanting to die and just get out of this place that is hard for me to feel that I belong. But then, miraculously, there happened to be a woman who came home, and this woman was a principal, and she started talking to us about the love of God and how God loves us no matter what, and how God really is interested with us as people. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, wow, there's somebody who loves me so much, maybe even more than my parents. And I got born again that night. And I got born again because I felt that God loved me, right? Remember, I was dealing with the issue of feeling loved and cared for, and the issue of feeling like I belong. And so that was an escape for me to actually cling to this person who loves me. So I got through that, and I went on with my life. I didn't, by God's grace, I didn't, the suicidal thoughts didn't get over me. But then the crisis of you feeling like you're loved and you belong don't go away. If that thing, if whatever that you're struggling with is not fulfilled, it doesn't go away. It keeps silent. And so the struggle of feeling loved and wanted and belonging stayed with me, right? And so I come to my second instance when I felt suicidal. And the second instance was I have already, when I was a teenager, of course, I was around primary class. I can't remember what class, but the second time that I felt suicidal, I think it was after high school. I am done with my, O levels, and I am just at home. I had not joined campus because of some financial reasons, and I was just staying at home helping my mom take care of my grandmother because my grandmother wasn't feeling very well. She had a stroke, and so I was helping my mom to take care of my grandmother. And so I remember that around that time I started having feelings of being unfulfilled and feeling like I have not gone to school. I performed very well in my KCSE, and I am doing things. My life isn't my life isn't moving. Like I am done with high school and I performed well. There is no job that is coming forth, and I was having a little bit of commotion with my parents, and I started feeling like, oh my God, oh my God, I don't have a sense of belonging. You remember how I've said that if whatever you're struggling with doesn't get fulfilled or doesn't get addressed, it catch ups with you sometime later. So I started not having the feelings of not feeling fulfilled. I don't belong. I'm not loved. I'm not cared for. And at the time, yeah, like I've said, I was having commotion with my parents, and so it was so bad. It was so bad that this time I was like, Jesus, this is now bad. For me, it was so bad. I remember I called my sister and I started crying. I was crying because of there are so many tiny issues. I was saying like, God, I want to go to school. I want to do so many things. I'm young. I need something to happen in my life. I think things weren't working out, and it had been some time of waiting. It wasn't like 1 year after high school. I think it was about like 3 years down. No college, no university, no nothing, no jobs, no nothing was coming up. And so because I was getting used to, I'm this kind of, I'm an extrovert, and so I don't like staying in one place for a very long period of time. It wears me out. I get tired. I need change. I need change more oftenly. And so I think staying at home and being in one area doing the same thing for over 2 years had worn me out. And so I started feeling like I need out. I need out and I need out. Like yesterday, I need out so bad. And so I struggled. I really struggled. And then also there's something that happened when I was, when I was a teenager still, which is a story for another day, that was causing all these mixed up emotions. And so I started feeling those that thing that caused trauma when I was back in back in 14 years old started catching up with me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And so it was a mix of so many things, fear of not going to school, my trauma is catching up with me, I'm having difficulties just getting to understand the feelings that I'm having. And so I started kind of slowly shutting down. I started shutting down. I started not taking showers. I used to sleep all day, and at night I'm very awake, and I didn't want to see any light. I never wanted to see the sunrise, and I wouldn't even have energy to do house chores. And it got so bad this time. It got so bad that to a point I even vomited yellow stuff. And I called somebody and I told them how I'm feeling, and I told them, oh, I vomited some yellow stuff. And that person kind of laughed at me, and they were like, oh, you're really thinking a lot. And what that yellow stuff that you have vomited is bile. You know bile? The chungu bile, the one that helps digest, kill, the one that helps in digestion to kill germs in the food and all those things. That bile, I'm telling you, that puke was so horrible. It was so bitter. And so when I called them, I was, let me tell you, I was having serious issues that time, because I even thought I was bipolar, because that time there were issues. There was awareness of bipolar disorder, and I thought I was bipolar because I was like, I'm feeling some things that I can't even explain. And in my family, there was an issue of mental health, issues. So I actually thought something is wrong with me, but nothing was wrong with me. I was just having a moment of crisis. And so when I called those people, and they kind of laughed at me instead of giving me solutions of how I'm going to deal with this thing, I kind of said to myself, I need to get up. I need to get strength, because my issue to somebody else is funny. And it's not even supposed to be funny, because you remember, these are real things that are bothering me. And so I said to myself, I'm going to wake up, clean myself, and start living life. And so slowly I started getting back, day by day, taking it day by day, taking it day by day, taking it day by day. And I got through that. And I got the strength to keep going. And so the third time, which is the final time that I felt that I've had, those suicidal thoughts, the third and last time happened some time back. And that time I was also having crisis in my life. It was like how many years down the line? I think it was 7 years of waiting to go to school. One thing about me is that I really value and treasure education. And especially tertiary education. And so I've always had this dream of going to university, and things weren't working out for me. And so I just recall one time asking God, is it a huge thing to ask you to open for me a door to go to school? Like, really? I wanted so bad to go get education and tertiary education because, like I said, I did well in my KCSE and I wanted to study. And so I got a scholarship to go to some school, and outside the country. And when I went to ask for a visa, when I went to for the interview for the visa, I was denied. And so that really broke me because I thought this is the time that God is repaying me for all those years that I've wasted. And so I saw this as a way of God telling me, you have waited for so long to go to school, and so I'm going to reward you by giving you this great opportunity that had a full scholarship, right? And so I went to for the interview and I was denied. And then now I get to a crisis of wondering, now God, I have waited more than 5 years, 7 years now. It's the smallest thing that I can ask from you. It's the tiniest thing. Like, get me to school. And because I knew it was a big deal for me, I had prayed for the issue. I had fasted. I had even sowed seed. Like, I was really asking God to make this work for me. And I surely thought that this is my chance and it's my opportunity. So when it didn't work, it threw me off. It threw me off 360 degrees. And then because I think everybody around me wanted me to go through, they were giving me the encouragement that we are also agreeing with you that this is your time. So when it didn't work, it was such a shock to my system. I had not prepared of the other side of this story. I had not prepared, okay, so what if it doesn't work, then what happens? I was just seeing this thing is going to work. And so that was a shock to my system. So I started thinking to myself, now you, God, surely, what do you want with me? I mean, why don't you let this thing work? And so I went underwater for that one got me bad. It got me real bad. And so that one I was actually in the verge of committing suicide because I remember even I wanted to do something to myself. And then when I was about to do that thing to myself, because I was like, anyway, nobody cares, nobody gives a dash on whether you're there or not. And even God himself doesn't care because you see, you've been praying, you've been waiting on him, you have fasted, you have prayed, you have called upon his name, and he still hasn't showed up for you. So if this person that literally doesn't make things work for you, then I mean, who cares about you anyway? And so when I was about to harm myself, I remember something saying to me that your sister loves you so much, and if anybody doesn't remember anything about you, she will remember about you. And my sister at the time was my kabadi, and so I I didn't go ahead with the plan to harm myself. Actually, it's making me emotional because it was such a sensitive time for me. I remember I called my sister and I told her, you know what? I was about to harm myself, but then I said to myself, I won't do it because of you. And I want you to know that I will grow if I have to crawl, I'm going to walk, I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep myself going. And so she kind of became, or like God gave me her to have a reason to keep fighting. And I'm here and I'm still fighting every single day. But then what I learned from all those times that I have felt that way, that I've felt, or what I've learned from feeling suicidal, is that everybody has crisis, but how you internalize the crisis is everything. And also because first of all, the first two times that I was feeling suicidal, I didn't have anyone to talk to. But then the third time, I had somebody who came in my life, and she has been such a pivotal moment and pivotal being in my life, because she makes me balanced. She gives me tools to handle with my crises. You know, she makes me understand how to navigate these ups and downs of life, because life will always have ups and downs, but then sometimes we lack the tools to navigate those ups and downs, and that is what makes people suicidal. And so I have learned to deal with crisis. Even when I've prayed for something and it's not working, I have learned to navigate that and to actually not even think that God is failing me, or even like I no longer even blame God when things aren't working. I just sit to myself, come up with strategy, and tell myself that this too shall pass, and I keep on going. But I would lie to you if I tell you it's easy. It's not easy. It is a daily work activity. Like, I have to keep on working on it. I have to keep getting better on dealing with crises and dealing with issues, and how I internalize things, and also who I surround myself with when I'm in a crisis, because also that plays a big role on if you're going to survive having suicidal thoughts, and also if you're going to fight depression, because depression is still a thing. It's part of mental health wellness, and if you're going to fight all these things, you have to surround yourself with people who humanize what you're going through, who are telling you. Because, like, for example, let me take one thing of when I was feeling like God had failed me because of this opportunity for going to school outside the country backfired. I surrounded myself with people who told me that, hey, these things backfire. It doesn't mean that God has failed you. It doesn't mean that God is still not God. It doesn't mean that he didn't hear you or he didn't listen to your prayers. And so I say telling myself, oh, these things happen. It's normal. But I also had to learn how to get to do things and not just waiting for one particular thing. You need to have many things constantly happening, that even though that thing backfires, you like kind of sit and tell yourself, okay, I still have something else that I'm doing right. Do you get what I'm saying? It's very, very important to surround yourself with very supportive environment, and people who understand, number one, who empathize, number two, and who sympathize, number three, and also people who put themselves in your shoes, people who will they don't have to understand you 100%, but those people have to really navigate your feelings, in their own way. They have to navigate how you're feeling. They have to like really kind of understand. I'm saying in quotes because no one will ever understand how you're feeling. No one will ever understand how you internalize things. No one will ever understand how you process information and how you process things. And so they might have a tip of how you are feeling, which is the most important thing. And like I'm saying, and like I said in my other video, that when somebody is feeling suicidal, they don't need you to give them, they don't need for you to give them solution to their problems. Those times I felt suicidal, I didn't need anyone to give me solution to my problems. I have thought of solution. I used to have solutions to, my problems. I just needed somebody to hear me out, somebody to give me, like a shoulder to lean on, somebody to just listen to all these things that I was going through and all these things that I used to bubble up inside of me. And I'm an extrovert, but then when it comes to talking about my struggles, I'm not very, I never used to be very big on my talking about my struggles, because I was socialized that when you talk about your troubles, you are a big mouth. Yani, when emotione muhahe, when emotione muhahe. And so I never used to say what is really giving me a crisis, or what is throwing me off balance. But then I've also learned with so much therapy and so much actually self-awareness, that it's okay to talk about issues, it's okay to say how you're feeling, and it's actually okay to feel how you're feeling, because it's fine to feel defeated, it's fine to feel like you don't know yourself, you don't understand yourself, it's okay to feel weak, it's okay to feel weird, it's okay to feel like you're not enough and you're not okay. It's okay to have all these emotions, right? The only difference is how long you get stuck in those feelings. And so that has given me a lot of tools and a lot of awareness on how I deal with issues and situations when I'm stressed. And it's very important. I can't emphasize enough on how important it is to learn how you navigate your feelings and how you navigate those negative emotions. And so I'm in a good place and I'm in a good space because I have had to go through therapy. And I want to say that therapy is such an important thing. I would advise everyone to go for therapy. And you don't go for therapy because you are crazy, or you don't know how to deal with your issues, or you're weak. Therapy is necessary because you realize that we grow up, especially in the African society or the Kenyan society, we grow up being taught how to be strong, and you have to be courageous. And sometimes you find yourself not feeling courageous, sometimes you find yourself feeling weak, sometimes you find yourself feeling like you don't have your act together. And so therapy has really helped me a lot. Therapy has helped how I think. Therapy has helped how I articulate myself. Therapy has helped me with my confidence. Therapy has helped me how I deal with crises and issues and negative emotions. Therapy has been a pivotal part of my life, and I am not very dependent on therapy. It's not that I go every time for therapy when I'm feeling I'm having a crisis, but then I keep on checking myself with my therapist to see whether I'm on balance. And so this is my story, my unfiltered story. I have nothing to be ashamed about. People do struggle, depends, like I said in my other video, depends on your personality trait. It depends on so many issues, the way you react to issues. It's not only because of, how you're taught, or there are so many things that come into play when people are dealing with suicidal things, and people are dealing with depression and all those mental issues. And so I am victorious now. I have overcome and I will keep overcoming. And in my as a way for me to give back to society for being victorious and overcoming, is for me to share my story and to tell somebody that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to feel crushed. It's okay to feel all these bad things, and all it's okay to feel all these negative feelings. Go through them, talk about them, and let yourself feel encouraged. And so I let me know how your journey has been. If you have struggled, let me know. If you feel like you need somebody to talk to, you can comment down below. We'll get to know how I can listen to you. And if you feel somebody is going to benefit from this video, please share this video to them. And also you can tag them, and then we'll see how we can get as many people as we can help, because people need help out there. So many people need people to listen to them, because that is all that matters. It's not, at times it's not even the things that you can give to somebody. Sometimes it's your time and you've been listening and you've been empathetic and sympathetic to somebody. And so thank you so much for watching my videos. Please remember to comment, share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. And until then, may God bless you, may God take care of you, may God watch over you, and may his light shine upon you. Thank you for watching. Bye.